Hey you guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I thought this is my second time recording this video. I'm sorry, I was just making sure my camera was good, but this is my second time kind of attempting to record this in the past couple of days because I wanted to make sure that I put all the information that I wanted to put and really just talked about this in the right way. But I thought I would, since it was my first video on my channel, I'm gonna still leave it up, but kind of revisit and retell the story of how I lost my vision, and maybe give some, because I was really nervous in that first video, and maybe give some tips and tricks to some people who might be new to the vision loss or the blindness kind of sphere, of maybe some resources that you could reach out to, or things like that. But yeah, and I'm doing this in honor of, because I just learned that this month is Disability Pride Month, where I know some disability creators are just talking about their disability, and that you shouldn't be ashamed of your disability, because it makes us who we are. So I just wanted to reshare my that and share some tips and tricks. So we'll start with my vision, my blindness journey. When I was born, they didn't really think anything was wrong at first. They, didn't really find anything on any of the ultrasounds, or anything like that before I was born. But once I was born, my mom noticed that my eyes were kind of crossing a lot, and it didn't really crossing a lot, which didn't really happen with my brother, I don't think. And the doctors were originally just kind of like, oh, that's normal. But my mom just kind of knew that something wasn't right. So we went to my mom finally convinced, I think, one of my pediatricians to get us a referral over to an eye specialist, Dr. Greiner, who is still my eye doctor today. Dr. Greiner, if you ever see this, hi! But when I was 3 weeks old, I saw him for the first time, and he did some sort of, the testing and stuff. I was a baby, and I don't really remember, but they diagnosed me with coloboma, which coloboma is basically, it can be a hole in any structure of the eye. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not an eye medical professional. I'm not a doctor. So, from my understanding, it's when something happens and things don't close up all the way, leaving a hole, and it can be in any structure of the eye. And mine just happened to be in my retinas, in both of my eyes, leaving me with peripheral vision, and with, I don't know if this is with all colobomas, but especially with my retinal coloboma, with this there is an increased chance of me, I can't talk, sorry you guys, of my retinas detaching. So, at the age of 5, my retinas detached, and they sent me to North Carolina because I believe that was the closest or the easiest to access pediatric retina specialist at the time from Louisiana. That was 15-16 years ago. So I don't know if things have changed on that front as far as pediatric retina specialists. But I think that was like the easiest to access doctor for pediatric retinal reattachments. And they were able to reattach my retinas, but they weren't sure why. But after the fact, they stopped functioning, and that's how I lost the remainder of my vision that I had left. Because up until that point, I did have like peripheral vision, a good amount of vision, I think, like get around and things like that. But I haven't really let that ever hold me back. I learned Braille. I've been a full-time cane user. I started cheerleading when I was like 4. I continued through cheerleading with some modifications until I graduated high school. I did a lot of different things with modifications, but I was still able to do them, just sometimes a little bit differently. But I graduated high school with a 3.87 or 3.9, something along those lines. I went to a training center and learned some independent living skills, and now I'm in massage therapy school and love it. I did attend a university for a 4-year university for a little bit, but realized I kind of really had some other issues going on at the time and realized that really wasn't for me. But now I'm in massage therapy school and love it. But yeah, so I feel like you can do most things being blind or visually impaired if you are willing to see what modifications maybe need to be made, if any. Learn how to use screen readers, learn how to use braille displays, and things of that nature, and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, so in this next part of the video, that is basically my vision loss journey and where I am now. In this next part of the video, I want to talk about maybe some resources that you can tap into if you're blind or visually impaired. And this is going to be more or less, I don't know if I have viewers who aren't in the US, but this is going to be more specifically for my US viewers. Before I get to that, I do want to add that I'm not sure if I'm actually diagnosed with nystagmus, but I do have some kind of, I don't know if it's really visible, like sometimes it's worse when I'm tired or stressed out, like some eye movements, like it's hard for me to control, like the muscles in my eyes, so if they ever look like they're not focused, that's why. My neurologist told me it was something cortical, something that that they were able to put me on some medicine to help, because it could get painful sometimes, but usually so I don't think it's nystagmus, because usually nystagmus isn't painful. But if it ever just looks like my eyes aren't focusing, or if they kind of look like they're moving, that's why. So I can't really control which way they move, so that if it ever, I'm not sure if it's visible or not. But back to the tips. Definitely, I would recommend going. One of the biggest things I tell people who are blind or visually impaired is, if you can, go to like a residential intensive 6 to 9 month blindness rehabilitation training center, adjustment to blindness training. There's different names for it. There's all different kinds. A lot of states have them. There's National Federation for the Blind affiliated ones, which there's a lot of controversy around, but we don't talk about politics, blindness, or just regular politics on this channel. But usually in these training centers, they will teach you how to use a white cane. They will teach you how to use a computer without vision, how to use a smartphone without vision, how to use other types of technology without vision, depending on what you need. They will teach you how to cook, how to clean, how to do those types of things, like independent living skills without vision. And then, or like I said, how to use like a white cane, orientation and mobility, how to get around, how to use buses and trains and all kinds of stuff like that, depending on where the training center is or where you live, all of that type of stuff. And I went to one as soon as I turned 18 and got out of high school, and it was the best thing I've ever done. And you usually have to go through, because these places are generally expensive, just because of the type of training that you're getting. So you usually can get these. I didn't take notes, so I probably should have mentioned vocational rehabilitation first. I know if you're in the United States, so like I've mentioned before, these are basically, I know how the U.S. system works. You can get these centers generally paid for through vocational rehabilitation. Every state has an agency who helps people with disabilities get training that they need, either for if you're going into like school or a job or things like that. They can help you get like independent living training, help you find like what kind of jobs you can do with a disability. Like in every state it's called something different, so you can either, if you can do like a Google search and find what it's called in your state. Like I know in Louisiana it's called Louisiana Rehabilitation Services, and but every state it's called something different. And they will generally have like a blindness services counselor, or have a certain division that's just dedicated to blindness services. Every state has it kind of structured a little differently as far as that goes. But vocational rehab, also known as Voc Rehab, is a great resource for maybe because I can maybe mention like what's available generally, like training centers and things like that, but they can kind of help you figure out what's more available in your area. And then also Ambutech, I'm going to talk about a couple of different places you can get canes. Ambutech is a great website where you can buy different style canes. That's where I have my canes from. They have like folding canes. I think you can get straight canes through them, but I get their folding canes. If canes made of aluminum, graphite, different things like that. I love their canes. But you can also get a free white cane from the National Federation for the Blind, from their free white cane program. And they just have like a straight white cane, a straight cane. And as far as height for your cane, everybody has their own. I say talk to an orientation and mobility specialist, because I like my cane to kind of go up to about my forehead-ish, but a lot of some orientation and mobility specialists say like to your arm, like up to your armpit. Some say to your chin, others say to your nose. So I say generally when you're getting started, start by measuring to your armpit and go from there. But Ambutech and the free NFB white cane program are good places to start for looking for canes, just to get one if you are blind and are visually impaired and looking for a cane to kind of have. And I will link my video, or I might do an updated video. I'll probably do an update, or you can look on my channel and find my video about canes. Yeah, you can just look on my channel and find my video about canes. But yeah, I would definitely, before you definitely settle on the cane I'm going to work with an orientation and mobility specialist. And then there's also like learning technology, depending on what you use. I know if you have like a Windows computer, if you have JAWS, the company who makes JAWS, I think they're called Vispero now, has some great tutorials. I'm not sure about non-visual desktop access in VDA. If you have an iPhone, AppleVis or any Apple product, AppleVis is a great website. Also, Humanware, if you have any Humanware products, has some great YouTube videos up on their channel. And then the last two resources that I want to mention are the Guide Dogs for the Blind and Leader Dogs for the Blind, free 1 week intensive kind of programs for orientation and mobility. I don't think that they are a substitute for longer intensive orientation and mobility, but I think they're a great starter for if you are maybe having a hard time getting with voc rehab, or things being delayed for like whatever reason. Leader Dogs for the Blind has, I forget exactly what their program is called just because I'm talking about it, but they have an awesome orientation and mobility program at their campus in Rochester, Michigan. And it's a week-long program. You are there from Sunday to Saturday, and every Sunday you fly up there and someone will help you get from the airport to their campus. And then Monday through Friday you will have sessions with a one-on-one, about 20 hours, I think it's like 25 hours of one-on-one instruction with an orientation and mobility specialist, where they will help you work on whatever you need to work on. If you are a brand new cane user, they will help you learn the basics of how to use a cane. if you were like me when I went and I just got accepted into their program for some brush up. If you're like me who has used a cane for a long time, but who just kind of needs some brush up skills, they might help you brush up on technique. Maybe just kind of have a set of eyes of someone who's maybe not around you all the time to say, hey, maybe you could work on this with your technique. You know, hey, maybe this is how you could cross the street safer. Things like that. Or they can help you learn how to navigate around a mall, learn how to independently grocery shop. They can really tailor it to you, and they can help you if you are interested in a guide dog, figure out what you need to do. But just because you go to their program, that doesn't mean you have to get a guide dog. And then the guide dogs for the blind, orientation and mobility and immersion program. I've turned in an application with them, but I haven't. I don't know if I'm gonna ever actually get accepted for the immersion program. From what I've read, the immersion program works more on helping you build safe cane travel skills and helps you work on your auditory travel skills and spatial awareness for if you do want to get a guide dog. It's still not mandatory that you get a guide dog on completion of this program, but that's what they kind of work with you on. So yeah. So those are some resources that I want to mention. And so yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. And I will see y'all next time.